What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Steph, growing in Zone 6B. If you are here for the first time, welcome for the first time. So gardening season is in full swing. I'm out here getting my vegetables, my beds prepped for my vegetables, and I'm going to try to plant my onions in an earth bed this year. If you watched my last video, I showed you the space. There it is. So I'll just show y'all what I'm doing. So that's what I did. If you can see the space, I turned the soil a little bit. Now I live in Ohio. I have clay soil, and if you can see, it's mushy. See how it sticks together? I don't know if you can see my thumbprint or not, but that is not going to be good for planting. So what I'm going to do is the same thing that I did for my other beds. I'm going to add some compost. I'm going to add some peat moss, and I'm going to add some fertilizer, and that's what I'm going to do. Fluff it up a little bit, and those onions will be just fine. So I wanted to show you guys the difference in the soil that I just showed you to the soil that I'm pulling the dirt from. This bed I prepared about 3 years ago. It was just like that bed. I added some, same thing, compost, organic granular fertilizer, and I added some peat moss, and I just fluffed it up a little bit, and you can see the difference 3 years makes. See how this soil, even though it's clay here, see how it breaks apart so easily? So that's the difference in 3 years of make. Now I still have some roots here. I planted some wildflowers right here, and so that's why I have all these roots right here. But you can clearly see the difference. So if you have clay soil, it does make a difference. If you just work on it, you can plant in it. I've been very successful. I'm even digging down like a little bit further, and see, even though, and there's also lots of worms in this dirt. So that's what I wanted to show you guys, is that, you know, even though I have clay sticky soil and it started like that over there, it ends up like this if you continue to plant in it and work on it. So I got my compost in here, I got my peat moss, I got my organic granular fertilizer, and I'm just gonna like smush up this clay like that, and I'm just gonna do like this, mix it in. I'm really mixing it in, and you can even use a little shovel. Matter of fact, let me get it. Excuse me, y'all. You can even use like a little shovel and mix this in like this. Just mix it in, just like that. And that's how I do it. Break it up some, pull out any roots that you have, and when I get ready to plant, I'm gonna add some bone meal for extra phosphorus, and that's my bed. So that's what I do if I want to make an earth bed, and it's my native soil, which is very sticky. I go ahead and do it up like that and mix it all in, and I go ahead and plant in it. So that's what I do to prepare my soil for planting some onions. Now I'll show you, I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna show you what the finished product looks like. So that's what it looks like when I'm all said and done, and this is where I'm gonna put my onions. I went ahead and added some compost, see, from my garden. It goes down like a couple of inches probably. I break up any like sticky clay type deal in here, and I'm going to use this bed to plant my onions. Now then I will show you how I do that. So typically, like I had said before, it's the next day and it's super windy out here, and I go ahead and use bone meal. This bone meal has a good source of phosphorus, and it's good for like bulbing onions. So I just sprinkle a little bit like that, as you can see, and I go ahead and mix it in. I mix it in like this into the soil, and you can see like when I mix it in, like I'm going down like a good ways. So this bed has really like been amended. You can see like it's worms in there and everything, and this bed is like good to go. So this is just like one half, and you can see over here like the peat moss, everything is in here. And then while I'm in here, I just like, if I see anything like that needs to be broken up or weeds, I just throw them out and I put it in here. Now onions, they don't need to be planted deep at all. Onions, I grew my onions in this container right here, and I'm gonna try to do this with one hand, y'all, but it is super windy, so we'll see. I'm just gonna squeeze the bottom of this and I'm gonna dump my onions out. Now one thing that I might do this year that I didn't do last year is trim my onions. People talk about trimming your onions, and I haven't done them. Now they say that onions should be about pencil thickness, and you know, onions are not very, the roots are not very they're not very picky. They're very wiry, and they don't really require a lot. If you go back to one of my first videos, you'll see how I planted this onion from seed. Now, as you can see, this onion has this white part right here, and it has this root down here. You don't want to bury it like all the way up here. Onions don't require that much. You just stick it in there just a little bit like that, and I normally just press it in. Now all of this extra, I'm gonna press that in like that. Now all of this extra wire and stuff, I'm probably gonna cut that off. I don't want my onions struggling because of all of this, so I'm gonna cut it off. And that's what I do, guys. Like, I just take one, even these little thin ones like this, even though they don't look like much, I'm gonna plant them anyway. So I space my onions about like 4 fingers apart like that. So I just go to the next spot and I make sure that it's there, and I just press it in, lightly press it in like that. And that's what I do. Now if you don't have like a large space, you can grow in something like this tub. This is what I grew my onions in last year, and it did just fine. Okay, y'all, I'm out here on a windy Saturday. It's 61 degrees, but it is windy, and you know, that's what I'm doing. So y'all take care, and bye for now.